Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2020 Dr. Dolittle film, simply titled Dolittle. Now this is a film that is co-written and is directed by Stephen Gagan, and it stars of course Robert Downey Jr. and we have Antonio Banderas, Michael Sheen, Jim Broadbent, Emma Thompson makes appearances, voice appearances for these animals, Rami Malek, John Cena, Tom Holland, Ralph Fiennes, Selena Gomez, to name but few of the recognisable names you will know that voice some of these animals in this film. Now, this is a Dr. Dolittle film, obviously, and it focuses on Robert Downey Jr.'s character, who obviously plays Dolittle. And we learn through this little animated piece at the beginning that, you know, he and his wife used to travel the world having all sorts of adventures, helping and saving animals, blah blah blah. And she kind of went missing at sea when she went off on an adventure on her own. And Dr. Dolittle has been mourning her ever since and has become a bit of a hermit. However, he is needed by the Queen of England as she is gravely ill, and as described by Robert Downey Jr. in the trailer, he has to go on a perilous journey to try and find some mystical fruit that will save the Queen of England. That's the story done with. What are my thoughts on this film? Well, if you've seen any of my top 10 lists over Christmas period, I put this film down as one of my most anticipated films of this year. It wasn't in my top 10, but it was one of the honourable mentions, I think, anyway. And I was curious to see what this film was going to be like. How could it fail? 175 million budget, Robert Downey Jr. in the starring role, and all these talented people doing the voices. The best, well, not even the best thing, the main thing I can take from this film is it made me want to watch the Eddie Murphy Dr. Dolittle films that were financially successful, certainly the first one was, and infinitely better than this mess of a film. I couldn't believe really how bad this film actually is. Generally speaking, you'll see these reviews and sometimes you think, oh, they're exaggerating, it's probably not as bad as they make out. And I can usually find positive things in films, especially films that I go to the cinema for, because it's a different experience when you're in the cinema watching it on the big screen. Sometimes you can, you know, overscore things. I certainly do, because I get caught up in them sometimes. That's no danger here. This film I found as dull as dishwater. I really did. I didn't enjoy it at all, and the best compliment I can give this film, and the most positive thing I can say about this film, is if you've got young children, they will probably find something in this film to enjoy. Just as my son, when he was little, used to enjoy watching the Garfield films that Bill Murray used to voice, but you watch them as an adult and they're just appalling films. That's the same reason why some young children probably get some enjoyment out of this, like the fart jokes that some of the animals do, and you know, that kind of stuff, the screeching and the stupid escapades that the animals get up to. That they will probably find some enjoyment here. Me personally, I really struggled with this film. I thought the effects were poor when you consider that this is a $175 million budget film. The effects weren't great, I didn't think. I thought there were poor performances throughout. Everyone behaved in this film like they were a children's TV presenter, or like they were in a cheap pantomime on stage. The overacting is incredible here, you won't believe it. And none more so, unfortunately, and it doesn't make me feel great to say this, than Robert Downey Jr., who overacts so badly. It's terrible to see. It's quite upsetting to see, actually. And because I'm from the UK, the accent that he gives in this film is like a weird Welsh accent, but it's clearly done by an American who doesn't understand certainly a Welsh accent. I would imagine the people in Wales watching his accent will be spitting feathers, because it's awful. It's truly awful. It's just an impression of a Welsh accent, and it does not suit or fit at all. I didn't find this film to have any tension or any fun or any adventure, to say it's supposed to be an adventure, fun, family film. I didn't find any of it. I just found it a chore to watch, if I'm honest. And I mean, I know January is supposed to be the dumping ground for terrible films, but I think they're taking the mickey here, and it proves the point. Which is unfortunate, because last year I seem to remember we got Stan and Ollie in The Upside in January, and I suppose this year we've got Stan and Ollie, not Stan and Ollie, Bad Boys for Life, which I quite enjoyed, if I'm honest, for a January release. This again shows us why studios dump big budget films in January, and that is the reason. And you hear all these stories of reshoots for this film, all the reshoots that took place, and the choice for director is odd, because he's no track record with family films or anything like that. It was an odd choice, and apparently the first cut he put forward was disliked immensely, so they did some reshoots and added some what they think was fun, and it's probably only made it worse. So I've got to say, believe the reviews on this one, guys. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. I'm probably being a little bit generous there, but I'm giving it that score mainly because, like I said, if you've got young kids, they will probably find some enjoyment factor in this film. Otherwise, adults, avoid it, definitely. So that is my review for Dolittle. A desperate disappointment. I'm not sure what Robert Downey Jr. is going to make of this. He might be running back to Iron Man. He might be knocking on Disney's door this time next week, begging them to bring him back as Iron Man. Let's hope so, because he needs to make better choices than this, because this one is a deserved box office bomb, unfortunately. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time for more reviews on Screen Stars.